Joining us now, though, is Ron Paul, one of the other four remaining Republican presidential candidates. Congressman Paul, thanks very much for joining us. Explain to our viewers what's next for you, because I'm still a little confused. Are you going to be campaigning aggressively in Florida, or are you already looking beyond Florida?
No, we're really looking beyond Florida. Florida is a disadvantage to us. It's a big state. You need a lot of money. They've cut half of their votes in half, and winner takes all. So I'm a very frugal person, especially with my donors' money, and I think the money is better spent to go to the caucus states, the smaller states, because the name of the game is winning delegates. And so far, there haven't been that many delegates allocated. Even after tonight, there's only about 37 delegates allocated. So I see it as the beginning of a season to accumulate delegates, and that will be our efforts.
But you will participate in both of the Republican presidential debates in Florida next week, right?
Yes, I will be both. I think it's Monday and Thursday. Yes, I'll be there.
All right, good. Our debate, our CNN debate, is next Thursday. We're looking forward, of course, to having you there. So walk us through February. Where will you be spending your time and your money?
Well, it is the caucus states. I know I can't name them all, but I know Maine is on that list. I think Minnesota's on the list. I think Nevada's on the list, and there'll be some others. But we will be. We have organizations in these states, and we will do well there. And you know, the organization is strong, and the enthusiasm is strong. So. We're looking forward to the campaign.
You have a very strong organization. I was in South Carolina. I saw evidence of that. In Iowa, you had a very strong organization as well. And your supporters, they're a lot younger than many of the other candidates, if you will. But walk us through right now if you think you can win the Republican presidential nomination.
Of course we can. You know, I don't make these bold predictions like some have in the past. I will be the candidate. No, I don't say that. But obviously, you know, if you can gain delegates and momentum changes, just look at what's happened here in the last 6-8 months. I mean, how many candidates have there been? About 8. We're down to 4. So things change, and so many of the others they rise sharply and then they decline sharply. And even now with the leader declining, it's just about everybody. But I don't think anybody has said that about our supporters. They come, they're steady, they understand what it's all about, they work hard, and we have steady growth. Because even tonight, without coming in the top tier, the second place, I mean, our numbers are so much better than they were a month ago. They're so much better than they were 4 years ago. So that is what we look to, and we want to prove that the message is strong by gaining the votes that are necessary to get as many delegates as possible.
Congressman Paul, David Gergen, our senior political analyst, he has a question for you.
Congressman, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
How many delegates do you think you need to go to Tampa and have a significant impact upon the platform, upon the speeches from the podium, and even perhaps upon the selection of the nominee?
You know, the truth is I haven't thought much about that. There are staff people who do the numbers, and they worry about things like that. I worry about my next event. I worry about being up to date on current events.
Well, what's your goal?
So I don't.
How should the media judge your success?
Well, by how many delegates I get, and I mean, if we get 10 delegates and that's it, that's not very good. But I think we're going to do a lot better than that. But I just take one state at a time, and one day at a time, and one debate at a time. And my responsibility is to, you know, deliver the message, encourage people to join our efforts.
Who's the front runner right now? Would you say we've had 3 contests so far, 3 different winners?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. Mitt has been acknowledged as a front runner all along. Tonight he has a setback, but I think in 1 week, you know, that could all be reversed. So I don't think you do have one only front runner at all. Obviously, tonight reveals that South Carolina says that Mitt and Gingrich are the leaders.
If you look at the other 3, who do you like the most?
Well, I'm not in the business of choosing, because what I choose is between the message that we're delivering and what we stand for and how strict we want to follow the Constitution, change the foreign policy and the monetary policy. And we see everybody else as part of the status quo. Nobody else has talked about cutting spending. Nobody else has challenged a foreign policy which is deeply flawed. Nobody else has talked about real cuts. Nobody else has talked about monetary policy. And those are the big events for me, and the country is coming around to those viewpoints. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, nobody cared about looking at how the Federal Reserve contributes to our crisis and how they bail out people. So that's where we're making the great inroads. And I see all the other candidates, Republicans and Democrats, of some format. They support this status quo, which has been driving this country down for the last 70 or 80 years. Our economy goes down, our debt goes up, government gets larger, our civil liberties are undermined, and we continue to fight these endless wars. So I think it's a little bit different than saying that, you know, I can pick one over the other. Right now, they all support positions that I don't hold.
Congressman Paul, thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you Thursday night at the CNN Republican presidential debate in Jacksonville, Florida. Thanks very much.